Welcome to the Sean and Renee Talk Show. I am your co-host, T. Renee.
And I am Nisha LaShawn. We are so excited to be chatting it up with you guys and having the opportunity to just speak our piece.
Yes. And today our topic we're going to discuss is nepotism. Is it fair? And we've been seeing a lot of headlines in the last few months about LeBron and his son, Bronny, and Deion Sanders and his son, and even the Manning family, because they have a son that's in college, son, nephew, cousin that's in college too, and the nepotism that goes along with it. We're going to discuss how the society is like really going at these families and saying it's not fair, but I believe it is fair because if you're in a position to get your child ahead, why not use it?
Okay, let's first break that down first.
Okay.
Number one reason as to why people say they do not believe in nepotism because they feel like colored, multi-layered. I'm not one of those people that keep my paintbrush colors separate. Mm-hmm. I mixed it all up. So, number one, I don't believe, this is the people talking now, that nepotism is fair.
Okay. And what's your reason?
Well, the people say that nepotism is not fair because it inherently undercuts other folks who have, quote unquote, worked hard for those opportunities. My biggest question in those moments when people say, well, that's somebody else's opportunity, how do we assign an opportunity to another person that was never in the running?
That's true. My take on it with that is I've seen nepotism on both sides. I've seen it where it was abused and rightfully deserved. On the abuse side of it, mm-hmm. I see people who were promoted who were not qualified. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in that instance, yes, abuse is wrong because if you know your child or family member is not qualified, do not put them in positions where you know they're going to cause havoc, not even thrive in the position and make it worse for whatever is going on in a situation. But on the flip side of it, I've seen it work out well.
Okay, well, let's break that down. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hypothetically.
Yes.
I don't have any children for the record. I'm a mommy. I have these kids. Mm-hmm. My child went to school. Mm-hmm. They got the degree. Mm-hmm. They got the certifications. Mm-hmm. They got the experience. They done did the internships and all this kind of stuff, right? Yes. And let's just say I'm a doctor. Mm-hmm. My child wants to follow in my footsteps.
Yes.
What sense would it make, right, that I wouldn't use the connections that I've genuinely and naturally accumulated over the course of my career and not lend a hand as not just a parent, but as a mentor professionally to my child who wants to follow my footsteps? They've done the work. They've gone to school. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to assign little Jimmy to be, have a full residency. And the only thing he did was get a CNA certification.
Right.
So it is a fine line. I've seen it. This is where the abuse comes in. Little Jimmy
ain't studied a lick.
Mm-hmm. He do coke in his free time.
And he barely passed and graduated.
He barely passed. Or you let him borrow your P to pass the test.
Or he dropped out and you still putting him in position to have a position he's not qualified
paid
for.
Off the school.
Yes.
To doctor up his reports.
Yes.
Okay. Forced a graduation on him.
Yes.
I'm going to donate this amount of money to whatever hall in the college to, make sure that my child makes it by all means necessary.
And then here's that underlying thing that people don't see. The child sometimes don't even want to follow after the parent. They don't even want to do it. But you're forcing this person because of whatever prestige or whatever title you hold in your social setting to go in this direction, and they don't even want to go there. And when they get there and they're bumbling everything, then you like, well, what's wrong with you? Well, first of all, did you even ask the child if they wanted to follow behind you? But I've seen that with physicians that have used their, leverage to like, this is my child. They know they stuff, give them a chance, and it has worked. But on the flip side of it, like we just talked about, the child don't even want to be a lawyer, but you're forcing them. They barely pass the bar by the skin of their teeth.
A lot of times that bad behavior is
rebellion.
To the demand that you follow in my footsteps, right? Let's talk about the kid to where the parent has to pay off the school to get them through college.
Yep.
Did you ever ask the child if they wanted to go to college in the first place?
That's a great
question.
If they
wanted to be a plumber,
right?
Let them be a plumber. It doesn't matter if you got a long lineage of lawyers in the family.
Right.
Well, now you got a plumber.
Yes. And he probably gonna make more money than all
y'all put together.
Because we need plumbers.
Oh my goodness.
We need more plumbers. We need more electricians. We need more carpenters. So they won't be putting these buildings together with scotch tape.
Together.
We need all that.
So we made a clear definition of what nepotism should be.
Yes.
I've blazed the path for my child, and my child is able to walk down the path that I blazed.
Right.
And even though I blazed this path, it may be fire and, roadblocks for them, but I have used my resources to give them a clearer path.
And you've checked in with the child, and the child is clear and concise and saying, yes,
I want to
Daddy, Mama, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an accountant. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an interim in your corporation to do this. I want to play football. I want to play basketball. I'm clear and concise in my decision. That's when nepotism works, because I don't like that LeBron and Deion get flagged about their children. Granted, Bronny is thriving better in the G League right now before he can, get up there with the big dogs and be at the Lakers. But I'm not mad at him for wanting to play with his son. Like, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it at all.
I can see that being a lifelong dream, like a fantasy that you would never even believe it could come true, that I would play in the league alongside my son.
Yes.
And on the same team.
Yes.
Like, that in itself is a dream on top of a dream inside of another dream.
Yes.
Now, I Googled the definition of nepotism.
Okay.
This is what AI told us via Google. Nepotism is the practice of giving relatives or friends preferential treatment in the workplace or in other fields, such as politics, academia, or entertainment. It can involve giving someone a job, increasing their pay or benefits, or even providing them with more opportunities. Okay, so nepotism, to start out by their definition, is giving that friend or relative preferential treatment in the workplace, right? Okay. Now, this is what bothers me by that definition, because the preferential treatment is what makes people feel like this is unfair.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure out, why is it that we work so hard in the workplace to build relationships at the water cooler, at the coffee pot, in the break room?
Right.
Why do we shake hands? Why do we say good morning if we are not trying to build camaraderie in the workplace, right? I'm going to likely give the person I have a connection with that let's just say preferential treatment to work in the same department, to get the raise, to get the promotion. Right. I'm not going to prefer somebody I don't get along with.
No.
To work beside them.
No.
Or if I was in a position of power, I'm not going to choose somebody who, you know what, it's just not going to make sense for the culture of the company. That's a preference.
It is. But you know what? I've seen it done both ways. I've seen people who don't deserve raises for whatever reason. I don't know if you got naked pictures or whatever is going on. I don't know what people got going on, but I've seen people get raises and I'm just like,
that might be blackmail. That might be a whole nother episode.
It could be. But,
sound like blackmail.
But I'm looking at it, it's like, you ain't even doing good at the position you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Are they moving you out the way? I don't understand it. But then on the flip side of it, I've seen where people who bust their butt actually went back to school while still working to get like certifications, degrees and everything. And they did get the promotion. But
did they have that element of likability?
Usually the ones that are promoted and don't deserve it don't. And that's the crazy part to me, because it's like, can't nobody stand this person, but you're going to put them in a position of power where people are going to like them even less.
Okay. So I've seen two sides of that. In my experience, the person that got the promotion that was preferred, even though the team as a whole or the department as a whole doesn't necessarily like this person, they were either blackmail, right? I know something about you, so you better give me what I want.
There you go.
On blast.
There you go.
There were the department spy. I'm willing to.
I forgot about the department snitch
on any and everybody. To get what I want, and I'm going to undercut everybody.
Now that department snitch, that's a whole nother level.
Department snitch can pretty much be CEO.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I climbed the ladder off of snitching,
because those be the ones that got the pictures, they got video, they got audio, just everybody doing
shots of this.
Yes, and people doing any and everything. Okay. Yeah.
So you got the snitch. I feel like those are separate conversations, because those people...
that's a conversation in itself. Because you got to break all that down. Like, how do we continue to even let you be employed here and you move in this fashion?
Which is why I'm so confused about the nepotism conversation. If you're okay with saying, you know what? I'm going to give my boss a nice Christmas gift.
Right.
I'm going to, buy him some golf clubs. I'm going to invite him and his wife out to dinner. I'm going to throw a Christmas party and invite someone. I'm going to do all these preferential things. To be in the good graces of certain people who have power to move me up. Why is it now the preference to work with family or the preference to provide opportunity for family is now a discussion of contention? I don't understand it.
I don't either. The only part of it that I feel that needs to be examined is when the person isn't qualified. Like, we can look at Donald Trump. Now, never of a kid outside of Ivanka should hold any kind of office.
And see, going back to Google and the artificial intelligence, the definition of the preferential treatment, I prefer you. Nepotism shouldn't be, I'm skipping over the fact that you are totally unqualified. I just have a preference for you. But I'm not going to disqualify people who are qualified.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's why I think the lines get a little bit get muddled, because it's like, sometimes that does happen where a person who is qualified is not qualified. Well, a person that is qualified isn't chosen because of a preferred person, which is fine, because you prefer this person. You probably have a great working relationship with them. But my thing with that is, make sure they have some qualifications.
Make sure that they are qualify as if they were somebody walking off the street.
Right.
I feel as though there's nothing wrong. I mean, we have people who have law firms and they make it a family business, or, dentistry, they make it a family business. My son is going to now work in the office when I retire. Right. They could have hired somebody off the street to run their practice. Right. They didn't necessarily have to give it over to their child just because.
But then if you're trying to create a generational thing, then yes, I'm for that, because you want this to stay in your family. You want your son or daughter to be the dentist. Then you want your grandchild to be a dentist. Then your and that's the lineage of it. And I get that. And I'm all for that.
And in order to do that, you have to prefer.
Yes.
You have to prefer.
You do have to prefer.
And in order to keep it in the family, you have to have a preference for the family and make it an intentional decision to involve the family.
Right.
Technically, that's nepotism.
It is.
By definition, that's technically nepotism. The issue with a lot of people is that when they witness somebody like a Deion Sanders, they witness, let's throw Beyonce in there. They witness somebody like a Beyonce.
They be mad with that Blue on the field. I be like, yes,
she
Blue.
Work with mama.
I mean, why are you mad Blue on the field? Blue be getting it, and I don't care what nobody say. Let Blue do her thing. Yes.
Okay.
Let Blue do her thing.
I don't understand. I do understand. When people see something like that, they get triggered on a whole nother level. You're not mad at the nepotism. You're mad that your family couldn't do it for you.
Right.
That's really where it comes from. You're not mad that they were able to accomplish that. Right. You're mad because there was no path for you.
Yeah.
A lot of us had to figure it out. We didn't have parents that could or even would do it. But you can't be mad at the people who accomplished it.
No, and my whole part of it is that wasn't your path.
It wasn't your path.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's like you can't get mad if that wasn't your path. For the most part, the children of celebrities or dignitaries that are in the shadows of their parents, for me, I feel like they have a harder time and are under more scrutiny by the public than anybody. So in all actuality, I wouldn't trade places with them in some of these situations because they're scrutinized so brutally.
And because some people judge nepotism so harshly, I'm going to intentionally create roadblocks for this person because, you're LeBron James' son. You don't need me to give you no promotion. Right. You don't need me to give you no
job. Your daddy.
You got your daddy.
Yep.
You're just going to inherit whatever money he got. You don't need this job.
Yes.
So it is a unfairness to the other side of it too. And I have empathy for those celebrity children who honestly didn't ask to be in this situation.
They did not.
But outside of celebrities, people, y'all need a reality check.
Yeah.
Okay. Nepotism happens in every single neighborhood. That dental practice around the corner that's been there for 40 years, there's ran by so-and-so, ran by his daddy, his granddaddy, and so on and so forth. You didn't have any issue with it.
Look at the law practices. Some of them have been in business since 1902. And they didn't have nephews, nieces, cousins, mothers, aunts, sisters. Everybody run through there. So, I mean, I feel like people want to complain, but they got to understand that if you can put your family on and you know that your business is going to thrive and go forward, I don't see nothing wrong. If you got your friends, if we got friends that we know can do something very well and they are very skilled at it, why wouldn't I put my friend in a position of like, if anybody asks me, I got a friend that can do that. You want their number?
And I prefer to work with that well-qualified friend.
Yes.
Okay. And give them the business.
Absolutely.
Give them the contract. Give them the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Because I built that relationship. And why would I again, intentionally go elsewhere.
Right.
If I've already have a preference for this particular person, it's like,
Right.
we pick and choose when we want to apply this word.
Yep.
And most of the time, when people throw this out, they throw it out as a dart.
Yes.
They throw it out as a diss. And they throw it out from hurt feelings. Because when you sit down with somebody who really say, I hate nepotism from the depths of their soul.
Be all in their throat.
It be all, a nepotism, all in their throat.
Right.
And you sit and really have a conversation with them, it's due to hard feelings.
Yes.
I had to struggle. I didn't have anybody do this for me. I don't see why this is necessary for that other person because I didn't get it. That's usually what the conversation turns into. But
it shouldn't be always a struggle. And don't get me wrong, people have to learn to be able to maneuver on their own. So if they do face adversity, they can handle it. But in all instances, it doesn't have to, you got to learn it the hard way. I'm so against that. I'm so against always having to learn everything the hard way. So, yes, I like that what Deion Sanders said about his kids. And even Travis Hunter, he said that he's going to make sure they end up in the best situation possible, and that's on him. Why are people mad at that? These are his children. He wants them to go out and thrive. Same with LeBron. Why wouldn't he let this happen for his son? You know what I'm saying? He put his son in position to be able to play with the Lakers, get drafted by the Lakers. So why did he have to learn the hard way? Jadakiss son, he's a rapper. He's very vocal, and I like him, and I like his input. I do like him. Yeah, I like
such a well-balanced young man.
Yeah, I like his input on the culture of hip-hop, but they give him flack because he's Jadakiss' son. Mm-hmm. We just said with Blue. You know what I'm saying?
Leave that baby alone.
Leave Blue alone. And it's going to happen with a lot of celebrity and dignitary kids, just like with Kamala and her sister. They was giving her sister a hard time during the election. It's just like, let people be. You know what I'm saying? Let people be. Like, I feel like if it's not harmful, as far as like something harmful is going to happen, as far as like with the nepotism, just let people be.
Let people be.
Just let them be, because you don't know behind the scenes. You're just seeing the outside. You're just the outside looking. You don't know the hard work that probably had to go in. You don't know the arguments that happen within the family or discussions to get people to where they are.
You don't know the pressure it is to be Deion Sanders' son.
Oh my God. I don't even know how Shador and Shiloh and Buggy, I don't know how they do it.
Shout out to them.
For real.
I do, Lord. First of all, I'd be cussing people out left and right.
Every day.
Okay?
Every day.
Nobody would like me.
At all.
If I had to be behind the footsteps of a legacy like that.
Yes.
And, Coach Prime has done a really great job.
Yes.
At rearing his children and preparing them for that kind of stuff.
I love his parenting.
I love how Beyonce is doing it, because we all know the oldest girl is the family manager.
Yes.
She preparing Blue. So when I retire or I'm not in the forefront, you're going to be able to lead your siblings.
Yes.
And be in the forefront. So I love that she's preparing her, because it is going to be a lot.
Yes, it's a lot.
Be Sean Carter's daughter and to be Beyonce's
daughter.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then even J and B both said they had to like sit Blue down and be like, when she went on tour for the Renaissance tour, like, are you sure? Mm-hmm. Because we're not going to put you up there if you're not going to put in the work. And what did Blue do?
She put in the work, and you could see the growth from show number 1 all the way until you could see the growth. But I'm trying to figure out if we had bring your kid to work day at just regular 9-to-5 job.
Yep.
I don't understand how it's okay for you to bring your child to work and Beyonce can't bring her child to work.
Right.
That's a little unfair.
Because CEOs bring their kids to work. Accountants bring their kids to work. Judges
it's
bring
a lot of companies that do that. Bring your kid to work day.
So I don't see, the county commissioners, it run the gamut. It's like, so how can you be mad at it? The only thing I have with nepotism and what it needs to do is just when your child or your friend communicates to you to say, hey, I like this. I'm going to work to get this. I got the qualifications. I don't see a problem with that. The only problem I have with nepotism is when people who are put in positions who are not qualified and could potentially do harm. Other than that, I'm okay with nepotism because it might come a time where that might be me. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to put somebody in position, and that's because I know that they're going to do a great job. They might not have the credentials, but I know they got the heart and the drive to get it done.
We need to figure out, there's some real intelligent people out there in the world.
Yeah.
I need y'all to help me figure out what's the word, because it can't be nepotism.
No.
Because nepotism says it's just preferential.
Right.
It did not say that I'm about to be picking out unethical options.
Right.
Not qualified. You done scammed and conned your way
my God.
into this position. It's making me think about Abbott Elementary and how Ava basically blackmailed the district
into giving her that principal job.
That is what we would call unethical behavior.
Yes.
It was not his preference to pick her. He didn't have no choice because of blackmail.
Right.
We need to figure out what is the word when people decide to go beyond just preference and either illegally put people in positions, pick the unqualified, or some other unethical reason to choose that friend or relative.
But I think you just hit it. It's an unethical decision.
It got to be a name to it, because if nepotism is over here, it got to be an opposite end to, for whatever good, there's the evil. It got to be somewhere in the thesaurus.
Yeah.
I just don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be because, like you said, it is, and then I wouldn't all the way say it's unethical. It only comes unethical when it's attached to blackmail. Then yes. And scamming.
Listen, your unqualified child, okay? You ain't trained them on nothing. They working in this doctor's office.
It shouldn't be taking nobody's blood pressure. Should not be drawing nobody's blood. Yes.
So it got to be a name to it. But I just want us to figure out what this new word is, so that way on the socials of the media, we are not throwing out this word that don't apply to everything.
Because all these children we've listed by celebrity or whatever, they have the drive and work ethic. They put in the effort to be the best. Like, they literally have put in the effort to be, even Blue at her young age, she's put in the work to be the best when she is on the stage. So it's like, not necessarily nepotism, like you said, but it
gotta be something.
It gotta be a word.
Ask folks to help us out on figuring out what that word is.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be all in the same basket.
No.
And social media, we have this habit of once we learn a new word, we attach it to everything.
Oh my God. And
we
abuse
throw it
it
out and abuse it. Nepotism has been used and abused this year.
Yes.
In the past year.
Because I really don't think it's anything wrong with making sure your child is thriving, because the pros of it far outweigh the cons, because the pros of it, your child is going to thrive and they'll be able to take care of themselves.
Let me ask you this. When nepotism is discussed, do you think there is an element of racial I don't want to say racism, but there's an element of race and how people react to it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That definitely plays a part because if just Deion Sanders alone, his whole situation, I don't think they're going to give Eli Manning and the whole Manning family any issues when it's time for that young man to come out of college.
Like, it's a family business.
Yep.
Football is a family business.
Right. Because the Mannings are well known. Eli, all of them, they are known. That's what they do. They play football. So I don't think he's going to face any of the backlash that Deion and his kids and all the kids that he's trying to put in position to get into the NFL. I don't think it's going to be a pinky nail.
I don't think
in comparison.
I think for the Manning children, it's going to be high expectations. Yeah. And it's going to be high stakes, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on them and expect them to be winners. Yes. They're going to have the expectation that because you are a Manning, you have to win. You have to win. But on the contrary of somebody like a Deion Sanders and his children, the conversation isn't because you are a Sanders, we expect you to win. We expect you to be an asset to the team. Right. We have the expectation that, you know, you're going to be a star. Yes. You're continuing the legacy. Those are not the conversations that they're having. Now we have to have this deep conversation about nepotism. Is it fair? And it's not a fair playing field. And it's now but why? But see, and it's gonna get even worse because, you know, the draft is in New York, I believe, and Shiloh and Shador are going to be in Colorado with their dad on draft day. They're not going to the actual draft. They're going to be with their dad. So it's finna get even worse because it's like, oh, they too good to come. But this is my thing. It's a lot of people that don't go to the actual draft and sit in that room with their family and loved ones. But I can bet my paycheck that it's going to be looked down on because the Sanders are not going to be in attendance. But why? It's not like it hasn't been done before. Well, I didn't even want to go there and do the whole, but why? Because for me, it is quite exhausting explaining that Black people this and this is how the country feels about us and this is the energy we get, blah, 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 blah. Like, we already know the why, and it is just the difference in skin tone. Just skin tone alone makes a huge difference in perception. It does. And we know why. Yeah. We know why. We don't have to explain why. Oh, no. That's why I said originally it's an emotional reaction when a lot of times people throw out that whole nepotism thing. Right. You're triggered because now you're looking at these people who have faced a cultural adversity, right? Because all of these people that we named were Black Americans except for the Mannings. You guys are catching up. Yep. And we're irritated. Yes. That I think that's a part of the feeling too. Because when I look at these comments, a lot of the comments is from others. Yes. It's not us, as in Black Americans in there saying that Blue need to sit down somewhere. Right. Or why is Deion doing? I don't see it. But I find it very funny that Deion can uplift your child. Right. At these other PWIs. Yes. But he's can't lift up his own kids. Yeah. Oh, that's so messy. It is. It is. It is. And it's like when you call people to the carpet on it, then they just like, well, that's not what I meant. Wait, I gotta say it like Nikki. Messy. After all of that surgery, you're still ugly. Now that is what gets me. Yeah. It's just like when you call them on it, they're like, well, that's not really what I meant. Well, that's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded like because y'all loved him when he was bringing up your children. Yeah. Like, it was okay. Yeah. I don't get what's the beef now. Yeah. You know, and we love Beyonce when she was singing Single Ladies. Yes. Yeah. So when she was hopping around saying that, you didn't have any problem with the lady.
No. But now that she's introducing her daughter, who is interested in show business,
she's showing up as a Black mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's bringing up other feelings. A lot of the feelings have very little to do with the preferential treatment.
Right.
I prefer to work with my kids.
Right.
Now, Beyonce is on stage all the time with a lot of people. She always has a full production.
Absolutely.
So her one kid.
Because she ain't brought out the other little baby. Rumi ain't ready yet.
I'm just trying to figure out how the one kid on stage took away the opportunity of all the other dancers.
The other hundreds of dancers.
Hundreds and hundreds of dancers. The people who did the auditions and did good at the auditions.
And trained and did everything.
Did the routine. Those were the people that were picked.
Right.
And ended up on stage with her.
Right.
So when they make comments like she's taking away opportunities from other people, ooh,
yes,
but pick them out.
Yes,
show them.
I need pictures.
I need pictures.
I need note cards,
proof, receipts,
yes,
timeline.
Yes,
tell me.
Yes,
I need to know.
Yeah, but most of the time they can't. But I just want people to realize that using the word because you're upset that people are advancing their friends and their loved ones into positions, that doesn't mean you can just carry your bitter torch.
It's a bitter torch. It's a bitter torch.
Just stop your bitter torch.
It's a bitter torch.
And it's okay. And I'm not saying that, you got to work harder. But in some instances, you do have to work harder. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, don't be bitter. That's the only thing I don't like. Just don't be bitter about it. It's like whatever lane you in, thrive in it, advance in it. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. If you got somebody or you know somebody that you can bring along with you, it's nothing wrong with that.
And the world doesn't owe you anything.
Nope.
Including your parents. So if your parents, I don't want to call them failures, but if they failed to do this particular thing for you and create a clear path for whatever you wanted to do, then there's nobody to be mad at.
Right.
Not even your parents. It just is what it is. And most of us, we don't follow in the footsteps of our parents and go totally opposite direction.
Absolutely.
So nepotism naturally just wasn't an option for you in a lot of cases. We also know that, race plays a huge part into perception. Mm-hmm. And there's other feelings that people are feeling when they see that imagery. Yes. Okay. Of LeBron and his son. Yes. Beyonce and Blue. Mm-hmm. Dion and his boys. Yeah. There's other imageries that imagery brings about feelings of hate that has nothing to do with nepotism.
Because if you look at Hollywood, there have been a plethora of actors.
Oh my goodness.
Kiefer Sutherland and his father, Donald. Come on now.
Okay. Robert Thicke and his daddy.
Robert Downey Jr., let's talk about it.
Okay.
We can go on for ages on the chances that Hollywood gave Robert Downey Jr. in particular. And I love him. I love him. He is the best Iron Man to ever be an Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr. is my favorite example of how drug addicts in our culture during that time were treated versus drug addicts in their culture. Yes. How they were accepted after recovery. Yes. And not even just after recovery, while they were making the mistakes. Yes. His dignity was protected in a lot of ways when he was making those mistakes. And I'm not somebody that likes seeing people kick when they're down.
Me either.
But I recognized even back then how his dignity was being protected and how somebody like a Whitney Houston was not.
It was not.
So we're very aware that this nepotism conversation is not just about Nepo babies.
Yes.
It goes well beyond that.
Yes.
It's not just about, oh, you took somebody's opportunity. You can't take something that didn't belong to you in the first place.
Yes, because if it wasn't favored for you to begin with, you weren't going to get it anyway.
You weren't going to get it. And we already know when it comes to nepotism, preference in general is how humans operate.
Correct.
I prefer to work with this person because we have a relationship.
Right.
I have a preference to work with or do business with this company because of the customer service. Yes. Or how they interact with me.
Yes.
They say good morning. That company over there does not.
Right.
I'm going to give them the contract because you know what? Those are some good people.
Right.
Them people over there, they a little shysty.
Yes.
I prefer to be left than right or right than, I mean, that's just how human thinks in general. So I really wish we could just did the conversation all together when it comes to Nepo babies, because time and time again, you all have proven you don't really care.
No.
Because when the unethical people are brought to the forefront, and we have historical record of that time and time and time again, we have record of it time and time again of it happening, and there's never any outrage.
Nope.
There's never a conversation of how we gonna, quote unquote, take these people down.
Right.
You know, we see it happening and then we go on and drink our morning coffee.
And go about our day. Yes.
So we're well aware of the additional layers that's really happening here.
And I think people just have to get the understanding within themselves. Mm-hmm. Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
And that's the problem. People take things like what's going on with celebrity children personal. You weren't going to get this position anyway, little baby. Just thrive in your own right, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, your favorite deli store survived off of nepotism.
Absolutely.
Your family dentistry survived off of nepotism.
Yes, because your grandfather was friends with the butcher. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they played checkers or chess and hung out at the barbershop. Mm-hmm. And he knew he had the best quality of meat.
So many communities survived off of nepotism. Nepotism is not our enemy.
It's not.
It's not our enemy. We love the family that's full of firefighters.
Yes.
The family that's full of police officers.
Yes.
The family that's full of Army veterans.
Yes. Doctors.
The whole family is doctors. Everybody lawyers.
Yes.
The whole family. The whole
nurses.
Family is nurses.
Yes.
What's some other ones? The whole family is teachers.
Yes. Educators. From professors to elementary school.
Everybody's in education.
Yes.
If y'all don't think that's nepotism, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
You're struggling in comprehension of what it really is.
Yes.
In no way should it upset you.
No.
To where you can be viscerally angry in the comments.
Yes.
With the thumbs heavy, tapping the phone. Blue Ivy.
We going ham.
Tapping on the phone.
Got the vein in the forehead popping out because you're just that distraught and angry. I just don't understand.
My goodness. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. We got bigger fish to fry.
We do.
Than the nepotism thing.
Yeah.
And, I hope people will actually say what's on their mind, as opposed to throwing the trigger words, like the hot buzzwords of the moment.
Yeah.
Say how you really feel. I don't like Black millionaires allowing their kids opportunities.
Right.
They shouldn't be allowed to be millionaires.
Yeah. Just be at the root of it. I said it for you. Yep. Just be at the root of it. Just go to the root of it and be honest with yourself.
I said it for you. You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank me now.
Right.
Don't thank me later. Thank me now.
Well, that is our conversation today on nepotism. Please comment and give us your feedback on it, and we will see you guys the next time.
Bye.
Bye.